Welcome back to Fairy Tail Anime Review, episode number 36. This is reviewing the 304th episode of the anime, Fairy Tail Zero. This one was adapted from chapters 490 to 492. Yep, getting close to wrapping this one up. I mean, not exactly toward the very end, per se, it took a while to go. Well, from what I heard online, is that apparently they're going to stop at chapter 544. I don't know why. If they're going to adapt pretty much the rest of the manga with the season, couldn't they also adapt 545 as well? But my guess is the reason why they probably won't do that is because that's basically set up for Fairy Tail Century Quest. Fairy Tail 100, the Century Quest series, which is still publishing right now. It's about 30 chapters in. Yep. This episode has pretty much picks up like long after the last episode. Everything has been rearranged. Where you have, well, Lucy, Natsu, and Happy end up in different location, and the first thing you see Natsu is not just like wondering what the heck is going on. And where does he end up? On top of Lucy, and he's groping her breast. Yep, he's groping her. It seems like this whole thing of him being hands on her breast, it lasts for a good like 2 minutes of screen time. until she forces him off her. Yep. And of course they see in distance that two churches that are not supposed to be near each other, who are in two different cities. And of course we also see what Urza, Gray, and Juvia are up to. Apparently Gray's with Juvia and Urza in this location, this wasteland. And they basically look around and see if anybody around. Eventually they meet up with Natsu, Lucy, and Happy. And then, of course, we're seen by the person who casts. I'll get to that in a minute. As for most of the others, Mavis surprisingly stays in the same location, which is kind of weird. I mean, everybody else, now I should point out, everybody in the Fairy Tail Guild who was in the Guild Hall at that point in time were transported to a beach along with a good number of the Alvarez Empire troops. Yep, and they just plow right through them until, they're also being put there with the Strauss siblings. I'm like, that's weird. And then they just plow right through the forces pretty easily. And they come across Irene's top two ladies, her lieutenants. And, Mara J decides to stay behind while everyone else just runs away because they hear a return of a character who has not been seen since Fairy Tail Zero. Of course, since the episode's called that, why not bring back character Fairy Tail Zero aside from Mavis? Bring back Zira. Yep. The woman who was, the girl who was hallucination, originally she was a woman, then she apparently died by apparently having her legs crushed somehow, and she was able to create her. Yep. And somehow she ends up on Tenor Island, though Tenor Island is actually part of Fiore. Yet Fiore has been completely remade, everything's been rearranged. Yet it looks so bizarre. And Ganjo ended up on Tenor Island, also, why in the world is Tenor Island even actually part of Fiore? Because Tenor Island is I would say, I think it's about 20, 30 miles away from the country. It's nowhere near the country, so why is a part of it? I don't know, maybe because something with Fairy Tail, that's probably the reason why. Oh yeah, and Zeref ends up in Fairy Tail Guild Hall, which makes the first time I could think of he's actually ended up inside the Guild Hall itself. Yeah, first time ever in the series this has happened. Not the first time he's been to the Guild Hall, but the first time he's been inside, because last time he was there, he dropped off Mavis. And of course, Mavis decides, because, she come out thinks, of course, she's butt naked, okay, of course. Okay, she's probably thinking, okay, my magic still working. He snaps her fingers, and poof, she puts some clothes on. Pretty decent clothes for a woman who's over 100 years old, though has appearance of a 16-year-old. Though she's still beautiful for her age. Yep. And Zeref has no idea why he was though he has some idea why he was transported here, as where everybody else is, no one knows. As for where the Guild Hall is, that's not revealed in this episode. It's revealed in the new opening sequence. Well, apparently it looks like it's on top of some giant mountains, but this big, humongous mountain that somehow Irene decides to make up. And where's Irene up? In Fiore's capital. Into the palace for some reason. Oh yeah, and then she apparently able to take out all the guards in his palace, just off screen, mind you. Turns the princess into a mouse. And then she looks out the window. Oh yeah, and also for some reason, it looked like she lost part of her clothing when she was rearranging stuff around. Of course, there's also a close-up of her belly. Yes, a close up of her belly, and she's got a scar on the right side. And basically, it's basically her left side of her belly. That's pretty much where it is. I'm like, okay, that's probably set up for later involving her backstory. Yeah, but it's interesting to have a close up of that of all things. Yeah, pretty much almost basically of her groin area. hmm And then she looks out the window using her almost like sight beyond sight. Yeah, because she might forms a giant freaking eye in the sky, and she sees her daughter, her smoking hot daughter, who looks exactly like her. hmm But they don't say this, even though this really is, she's basically Ursa's mother. But they don't say at this point. They don't say it later. Yep. Then she goes off to wherever. As for Elfman, Elfman did not end up with most of the Fairy Tail Givers. He ended up with, well, he was Yoniko and, well, Sting and Rogue's Exceeds. And apparently, because, well, Elfman's a fairy, remember Fairy Tail, and he can hear Zero's voice. So they walk around for a while, and then they come across Angel, which is revealed in this episode. Of course, they hinted at this previously, that Angel and Yoniko are sisters, and Angel is Yoniko's older sister. Yeah. And of course, the X is like, what? Yeah, there's a shocked expression on their face of them basically, like, seeing that these two are sisters. These two look exactly alike, except that Angel just sort of looks slightly older than Yanako, and it's, to me, it's not very surprising. But apparently for them, it's shocking, like, oh my gosh, they're sisters. Yeah, though apparently Angel's lost most of her clothes. Apparently when stuff switched around, she lost most of her clothing. Which I'm thinking, that's odd. Because last I saw her when she was with the Crime Source CA, she had a lot more clothing, and then here she's like lost almost all of her clothing. The Michelangelo she had left is just barely covering her private parts. Yep. Let's see. Yeah. Otherwise, that's really it. It's a really good action episode, but it's a good shocker. And of course, the episode ends with Mira, though she doesn't see it. She's about to be confronted by Irene. Yep. I'm definitely looking forward to that battle next week's episode, okay? So, that's it for this particular review. I got 2 more reviews I'm doing next. First, of course, is the next chapter for 7 Deadly Sins. Finally, this one's released. I'll talk about this next, okay? But see you next view. Bye.